Welcome back. Now, South African fashion retailer Cross Trainer is taking another spin in fashion. The brand collaborated with its locally produced private label XT and the Magolide Collective, a creative duo formed between multimedia artists and creative artists Zoxolo X Mayongo and Adelson de Oliveira. Titled the Magolide Project, the collection is inspired by the history of Seshweshwe prints. It commemorates the rich ancient cultures of Africa while challenging Western historical narratives. Our producer Tapelo Muela sat down with the two designers and asked them how they met, and this is what they said.
We make Magolide Collective. We are visual alchemists as well as cultural practitioners. We formed as a duo in 2019.
Yeah, I was studying at Wits with Mzo, and in our third year he came into the Wits printing studio while I was busy with silk screens for a fellow artist and peer of ours. And after that he asked me to produce work for him for the Design and Double Emerging Creatives 2019.
Yeah.
And from there we kind of just never looked back.
Yeah. So from that instance of working together as I was preparing for the Design and Double Emerging Creatives, we formed such a great creative bond. We realized that we have something here. And Magolide Collective, I guess, it comes from multiple levels of where Magolide, its sense in Xhosa, from the township, is one who personifies gold. As well, it comes from the history of Johannesburg, where it was built on the gold rush. But also from an ancient times of alchemy, is one who's able to transmute something into gold. So that's what we are, Magolide Collective.
Let's talk about your latest collaboration with Cross Trainer. How did that come about? I mean, from the conception, working, and how did they ask you guys specifically to work on this collection?
So one day we were just busy working in our studio, which is around the corner from the factory. And Sandy came past our studio and kind of peeked in because our door was open and saw a series of paintings that we were working on at the time, which were inspired by Roy Lichtenstein's Benjay Dot series, which we were kind of playing with and converting. And she saw that and kind of asked us, could you guys translate these into a fashion capsule?
Yeah, and that started the conversation and the conception of the Magolide Project with XT, for which Sandy worked with. It has been a great privilege to work with the factory as well as XT, because it has given us a chance to explore our visual artistry into a different medium that we hadn't thought we'd actually be playing with as yet, to transmute art into fashion where people are able to wear it and able to access it where in the gallery space they wouldn't be able to. So it's been a great opportunity for us to endeavor in this project.
Talk to us about the journey. I mean, you just mentioned that this was your first collection and working on it, how was it? Yeah, just tell us about the journey.
It's been amazing in the sense of it has pushed us to see how far we can explore our creativity, more specifically playing with technology as part of our practice. For especially an African artist, to be able to transform a whole textile design wear and embed it with technology, and which XT has afforded us that space, has given us an opportunity to see how far we can, as artists, can actually explore the medium of artistry, design, and technology, but more so the African Imaginarium. I hope that with this collection, it will give an African child who aspires to be in the art world, in design, and otherwise, that the imagination of what you can possibly be is beyond.
Can you demonstrate the visual reality? I mean, how does that work?
Yeah, it's augmented reality, so AR.
Augmented reality is basically, it's literally in the name, you're augmenting something within reality. Yeah. So in regards to our clothing, on each garment and textile, we have placed specific, they almost work like QR codes along the clothing, where if you use the Artivive application, which you can get across all app stores
for free,
you can scan the clothing and it recognizes a QR code on it, which then plays the animation in real time, in real life.
Yeah. So thereby it activates the whole design wear into a technological medium where you have now an artwork that is embedded on the actual piece of garment that you're wearing. So it becomes a field of you wearing art, you are art in what you're wearing. On how it works, and hopefully for all the customers who bought, know how to use it. So you go to the Artivive app, which you've downloaded, and as soon as you open it, it starts activating and reading the garment. As you can see here, the artwork then becomes alive.
And then even if I'm moving along
Yes.
with it, and it also has functions within the app that allow you to record. You see that bottom red
Yeah.
at the bottom. So people who purchase the clothing can record it
And post it.
and,
Yeah.
you know, do whatever they want with the
Yeah.
software.
So this is specifically just for your collection.
The whole entire range. All the clothes have been activated with AR artwork. So I believe that we stand to be corrected. It's the first in the continent, possibly in the globe, in the world. So yeah, but we stand to be corrected.
Definitely a first. I've never seen anything like that. So I also want to ask, were you guys conscious about having the whole collection manufactured rather, in South Africa?
Very much so. We are designers who are very proud of our creative landscape, both in art, in design, and otherwise. So it was very important to know that the clothes are manufactured here, both the textile, the manufacturing of the garments, and everything else, because then it speaks to adding value to our economy. Because at the end of the day, as artists ourselves, you know, the manufacturers themselves need that support. So to know that us being creatives as well, we support our own is actually a good deal, I guess.
So which item from the collection is your guys' favorite, like each separately and differently?
Yeah. For me, it's definitely the jacket and then this graphic tee. That's why I'm wearing it today.
Yeah.
The graphic tee purely because of the animation and then the kind of the icon that it celebrates. Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
He's one of the first African basketball players to get drafted into the NBA and then also subsequently the Hall of Fame. And the jacket for me is just purely aesthetic driven.
And I guess this also speaks to his history at a younger age. He played basketball as a young professional. So, but for me, it's a hard one. The whole collection. I'm like a big parent. You know, I don't have a favorite. They're all my kids. You know, it's different. Depends on the day. The whole collection, I would say.
And what were some of the highlights, working throughout this collection? If you just give us a brief, some of the things that stood out for you guys.
Everybody that we worked with within the factory and then also cross-trainer. Sandy, Shalati, and a lot of the other people that work in the factory from start to finish were so kind of hands-on and leading in regards to what they taught us, what they showed us, from the pattern making through to the designs, through to even the CADs.
And I think on the other side is being able to just pull our hairs out and see how far we can actually explore our own creative processes, especially coming from a visual world, working within a set mediums of sculpture, installations and whatnot, which is particularly work that you see in galleries, but to now work within a commercial medium that can be worn in the body. That was very interesting for me, and I think for me it was actually having that medium that everyone can actually wear, everyone can access at a price that is quite inexpensive.
And now that this is done, what are you guys currently working on? Any new projects?
We're currently working on a new body of artwork.
Multiple, actually.
Multiple bodies of artwork.
Yeah. And we also lecture because we're cultural practitioner. So part of our practice is to impart knowledge and share knowledge. So there's institutions that we're working with. I'm not sure if we are able to speak about them as yet, but yeah, we're also in that space of sharing our knowledge within the creative space and education.